When I met my husband, my whole world changed. Like everything changed. And not that my world was upside down, but everything changed for the better. You know what I mean? Like he put a smile on my face.
Hello and welcome to Uncut, live from our studio in Dubai. The audio and visual podcast show that gives you exclusive scoop on our guests and hot topics including some of your favorite celebrities. And now, let the fun begin. Here's your host, S1.
Hello. All right. Welcome to another episode. Today we have an awesome guest on the show. She is a mother of three, social media influencer, and Harper's Bazaar cover star, Nina Ali. Welcome to Uncut.
Thank you for having me. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
You're doing great?
Doing
How's
amazing.
your day started? Did it start on a positive note?
Well, it always starts really early in the morning. Always a positive note. I start, fresh on my own before I wake up the kids.
Right.
So yeah, but it starts very early.
It starts early? Like what's early for you?
Early is about 5:15, 5:30 the latest.
Oh,
if I decide to
wow.
snooze. But I don't even snooze because I'm up automatically.
Oh my God. So wait, what time do you go to sleep? You must be an early sleeper. Right?
Not really, because by the time I do get the kids to sleep, that's the time that I have to do my emails, do what I need to if I'm not somewhere out and about. But I typically try to be in bed by midnight.
By midnight?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, where are you from? Because
originally I was born in Lebanon. So
Okay.
we moved to the U.S. when I was 4, and I grew up
Wow.
in Texas.
Texas. And
Texas.
Is that where you learned English?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do I have like a Southern accent?
Yeah, no. I mean, your accent is super American, which
Of
I love,
course,
yeah. And it is Southern. But it's cool. Texas is fun. Have you been back recently?
I try to go every summer.
Every summer?
Yeah, for
So you
sure.
have family there?
Yeah, my whole family's there.
That's
Yeah, my
awesome.
family's spread out all around the world, to be honest. But
Okay.
my main family is in Texas, Austin.
And what about Lebanon? How often do you go there?
I was there last year.
Last year.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like it's still home? Because you were 4 when you left,
Yeah,
right?
home is Austin, for sure.
Austin.
Yeah, I mean, Lebanon obviously is my roots. When I'm there, I do remember it. I love it. I'm very proud to be Lebanese, by the way. But when I think of home, I think of Austin.
And how did it feel moving from Texas to Dubai? Like,
Oh wow! How long do we have? It was interesting. It was it was kind of a cultural shock, but it's I'm Arab, so I was able to adjust religion wise, culture wise.
right.
But life in Austin compared to life in Dubai is quite different.
I can assume,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And in many ways.
that's why I said, how long do we have?
Yeah. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have 3 brothers.
Oh, wow. So you're the only girl.
I'm the only girl, so it's safe to say I was quite
Protected.
a tomboy. I was protected.
Well protected.
Plus a father.
Yeah. So
So yeah, and plus all their friends. So I grew up with a lot of guys around me.
when you say tomboy, you don't look like a tomboy now. Things
I-
changed
yeah,
big time, right?
I don't, but I was into, skateboarding, climbing trees, video games,
That's awesome.
I mean, I had brothers, so it was just.
So you were a cool sister. You weren't one of, the girly girl sisters. You would do things
I
with
mean,
your
I
bros.
left. I had, I had my Barbies and all, but I enjoyed the fast cars. My brothers are all into the car business, the racing business. So I kind of grew up around that, the performance. Before Fast and Furious came out, is what my brothers were doing, and
Oh,
then
wow.
so yeah, I grew up around that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Are you passionate about cars and stuff now?
I
or-
am not as much as I used to be. No. Before I'm like,
Things
okay,
changed.
the engine size, the horsepower, the this, the
Wow.
that. Now it's
Yeah.
more, mommy related things.
Mommy related. So yeah, let's talk about your children then. How old are they?
My oldest, Sophia, she's 6, Nora's 5, and Ayan is 3.
They're so close to each other.
They are, well, because I had one every year from 2012 to 2015. So I had 3 in 3 years. So yeah.
That's incredible. And
Yeah.
how was that? Like, that must have
It's
been
very
challenging,
hard.
right?
Really, honestly, I thought I've been through challenging things in life till I became a mother. And because I had them in a row, it was one of the
It
most
makes it so much tougher.
challenging, exhausting. Plus, I don't have family here. So I was on my own, even though I would go back home each year to give birth. But yeah, having to raise them on my own was really, really difficult.
Wow. I can only imagine that you would assume that having 3 kids in a row will put you out of shape, will put you in bad health.
It does put you out of shape.
No, but I mean, how did you do it? Like, what's your secret?
Well, I don't
Share
sit.
it with the moms.
I don't sit, if that helps. I might look thin, but really I'm so out of shape. There's no muscle definition in my body. So, but I don't sit. I
Do
run
you
around.
work out?
I don't want to lie and say I do, because I just started. That lasted 2 days last week. I've been trying to get on that program. It's just not enough time in the day. And I know that sounds like I'm making excuses, but I'm such a, hands-on mom. Plus I'm working and I'm running and I'm doing things that, I need to make it a priority.
Yeah.
I do.
I think, health for me, I was like overweight.
Were you? No way.
I was really overweight. And
I would
then
have never known.
I went into like this big diet and like liquid stuff and extreme stuff. And
Yeah.
I dropped a lot of weight, but I just felt like a different human,
Of
after.
course.
It just makes you feel so much healthier and
Yeah, for sure.
more active.
I know.
And it shows you the importance of health.
Yeah. I used to be very active pre-kids. I mean, I was at the gym 5-6 days a week, but after kids, I just...
You really shouldn't complain because you look amazing.
Thank you.
Do you miss being pregnant or nursing?
There was a point in my life that for 4 years, I was either pregnant or nursing. There was not one day in those 4 years that I was like, none of them. Like I was either pregnant or nursing or both, because I was also nursing while I was pregnant because, I nursed each child more than a year. So I miss the pregnancy part because it's just the most amazing feeling when there's something growing inside of you as a mother. It's really hard to put into words, but to just go to the doctor, see how the baby's growing, you hear the heartbeat and you're like, wow, I'm actually, creating a miracle inside of me. So I do miss that. The nursing, I miss the bond of it. I just don't miss being up all night nursing. I literally had no life. People didn't even know I lived in Dubai till like after. I'm like, I was just at home pregnant and nursing. That's all.
Yeah, that's a full-time job, right?
It is, definitely.
Do you have a nanny?
I do. I do have one helper. I didn't actually have my nanny till after I had both of my girls. And it was before I had my son that I finally got a nanny, which was very, very difficult considering I have no family here.
Right.
My husband works a lot, and at that time he was traveling much more. So I don't know why I was trying to be Superwoman. I'm like, oh, my mom raised 4 of us on her own. Why do I need, the mentality of coming from the US, especially Austin, to Dubai, where people have a nanny for each child, literally.
Right.
Or, they have helpers when there is no children. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just took a different route, thinking I could do it on my own and be Superwoman. And it really, really did. It really took a toll on me. It really did. And
do you think there's something positive to both?
Yes, for sure. For sure. Looking back, sometimes I'm like, why didn't I get help earlier? Why did I think I could do it all? But then at the same time, I'm like, at the time I wasn't working. You know what I mean? So even though it was exhausting to have 2 that were under 2 and I'm nursing and I'm like taking care of everything, I feel like I was really there for every moment. Well, technically I was there for every moment.
Yes.
So I don't look back and say, I wish I did this earlier. I'm okay. I think it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. And it taught me a lot. That's definitely realized I have a lot more patience and a lot more strength than I ever thought I would. But I think God just naturally gives you that as a mother.
And do you think that increases with each child, your patience, or decreases?
Well, I think what increases is your ability to just not care as much. Before it was like, oh my God, she fell, I need to run, or I can't let her
Okay.
stumble. Now I'm like, okay,
Your
they're
sensitivity level.
Yes, has
Yes.
definitely. I mean, I think me in City Hospital, like, they know who I am. I'm there in the emergency room all the time. I'm like, this one just cut this part of his face, and she just did this, and yeah, but it's kids. I think that, with each one, you become a little bit more used to it. You're not as scared, for little things. At first, I'm like, oh my God, there's a fever, or oh my God, I have to rush her to the emergency. And now
Right.
it's like, okay, here we go again. That's it. You're a lot more calm.
Like, and you also know how to assess situations
You do.
better, right?
Exactly. Yeah. That's a very good point, actually. You do, because I think it's like going through it over and over again. By the third
Right.
one, you're like, I've got this. I'm a pro now.
Yeah.
So I think I am.
Are you thinking of more?
No.
No.
No. As much as, everyone's been telling me one more. I to be honest with you, it's having them in a row really took a toll on me. Like, it was, it's one of those jobs that never ends. It's like 24 hours a day.
Draining.
It's
Like,
draining.
That's
physically,
beyond, yeah.
mentally, emotionally, like,
I mean, people
financially, like, it's
everything.
just draining.
Yeah, I can like, people already take breaks and complain, like,
Yeah.
but I can imagine you, like,
Yeah.
that's beyond, like, 3 in a row.
3 in a row, yeah.
Hats off.
Thank you.
Since they're so close in age, do they play with the same toys? Do they share the
They
same things?
They
Like,
do.
are there
it's,
benefits to having them?
Yes. Okay. First, I know it was very difficult because they're still very young. So they all want mommy's attention. So I
Right.
went through that phase where I'm literally, nursing one. The other one is crawling on me. Then the other one is like, oh, you don't play with me. And I'm like, okay, bring me your dolls and you can cuddle. Let me
Oh
finish
my
nursing,
God.
but now they're a little bit older. So they play together. They fight a lot, which is very natural.
Right.
If you have siblings, you naturally fight a lot, and especially because they're so close in age.
Right.
But they are now, alhamdulillah, now they're just at that point where, they have their toys, they share things, they play with each other. My oldest likes to be the boss because she's literally thinks she's the boss of the house. So, she's there to help out a lot more. So as they get older, it's a little bit less stressful for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since I would call you an expert with kids and family, because you obviously have been through it all. What are the latest trends for kids nowadays? What do you think? Like, because times change so much.
Trends is in terms of
anything. Like, what do you think kids are into nowadays? What do you think?
I think it's technology. Don't you agree?
Technology.
Don't you look around?
Yeah.
I'm very, God, how do I say this without sounding like one of those weird moms? I'm anti-technology for them right now. I really
Okay.
am. Maybe in the future, I'll give in. Like, my husband bought them each an iPad. Do you know where those iPads are?
Where?
They're in the
cupboard?
cabinet
Yeah.
collecting dust because I refuse to give it to them.
Well, you know what? I don't blame you. I think there's an age for everything, and I think
Yes.
those iPads and the internet in general can expose you to so much,
So much.
and you can't really control that. There's only a limit to how much you can control. Even though there's those little iPads for kids, and there's the special ones.
Yeah, and I know there's, safety features. There's so many things that
Yeah.
you can do, but I just don't. I look around, I go out to eat, and please, I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, because I know a lot of parents do, and I'm not saying what I do is right and what they do is wrong,
Yeah.
and vice versa. For me, if I'm out and about and I'm sitting with my kids, I rather they be focused on their food, focused on the family time, and
Right.
not sitting with an iPad in front of them the whole time. Same as at home, because I know in the summers, when I do go back to Austin, there are times I do let them play with the iPad. That's like once a year that it, they
Yeah.
do. And I notice it's this thing where they become addicted. I'm like, you've got your 15 minutes today. And 15 minutes turns to 30 to 45 to an hour. And then every day they wake up, Mommy, can I have the iPad now? And I'm like, wait a minute.
It becomes a habit, right?
It becomes a habit.
And it's one that you can't
And they don't want to
really...
get up. They don't want to be active. They don't want to, and that works for some people. That just for me doesn't feel right.
What Nina's trying to say, guys, is when you take your kids to the park, let them play in the park. Like, let them just be out, right? Like,
they need to be. And it's bad enough we live like, I mean, in Dubai, we are fortunate. We do have a lot of, we have parks, we have things. I live in downtown, so I am lucky that my building has an outdoor area. But at the same time, my kids have coloring and paints, and they have everything you can. If it's got to do with creativity, I will buy it. They don't have to say, Mommy, please, please. I will buy it for them. If it's things that they're just going to look at for a day or two or a week and throw away, I prefer my kids to be active. But that's just me, because not to say that they should grow up the way I did, because I know with times things change. There's development, technology, and not that I'm saying I'll never let them play, but like you said earlier, there's a time and place for all of that. And they're young. They need to be kids. They need to be running. They need to be falling. They need to be creative.
At what point do you think you're going to buy your kids a phone?
Oh my God. Do you believe that Sophia already asks me for that?
I can imagine.
She's like, Mommy, so-and-so at the school has a phone. I'm like, why do they have a phone? Well, they need to call their mom, because I guess some kids go home with drivers, or I don't know what they need their phone for. And I'm like laughing at her. I'm like, Sophia, do you know how old I was when I had a phone? My first year in college. That's when your mama got a phone.
Yeah.
I know things are different. I'm sure when she gets older, I'll get her a phone. Not because she needs to have a phone, but for safety reasons.
Yeah.
Especially when she's school, if she's studying. I mean, I know when I started college, a phone was a luxury back then. Like,
I mean, again, everything has pros and cons.
Of course.
That's the issue, though, right? That's the big debate, because you're like, I want to give her a phone so that she can call me, communicate with me.
Yeah, but if she's at school, she doesn't need to call me. I'm her father drops them off, I pick them up.
And if there's an emergency,
the school's gonna call me. Like, she doesn't need a phone.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
What is your advice to moms on how to keep like a buying limit, because so many people out here, especially, like, they spoil their kids to another level. I know, which is amazing.
This is a good question, by the way.
I love people, like, I get it's out of love, but at times I'm like, there's a limit,
You're out, this is actually a very good question. It's something my husband and I, believe it or not, talk about all the time, because I didn't come from a very privileged background. Okay. So to me, to get a toy, it was like, I had to wait till my grades came in that term for me to get that special little toy. My husband as well. Like, we came, we didn't come from, very privileged families. So because we're able to give our kids things today, that for him, this is the struggle, because he takes them out and it's daddy this, and they're daddy's little girls, and my son is like, daddy, and he's a sucker for that. But he thinks because he's taking them once a week, like, it's only once a week. I'm like, they don't need a toy every week,
They have a lot.
They have a lot. So we go back and forth on that. To me, it's like, what did you do to deserve that? Look, if they want a book, I'm all about it. I'll buy them a book every day if they want a book.
Right.
My kids, they love books. They love being
educational
creative.
Things. For you, it's more
educational
about
thing. Not just educational. I'm a very creative person. Growing up, I was very into the arts and painting and drawing, and I see that in my kids as well. So I rather they focus on that right now than just the toys. Let me tell you something. They have so many toys at home. Yeah. And if you were to ask them, when's the last time you played with this particular item? They probably don't even remember. But things like they're coloring and they're creating, they love to design. They play with that every day.
I mean, I see some kids, some families during Christmas, some kids they have like 20 gifts, and they open one and they're like, toss it,
of course.
And you're like, wait a minute, that was a, $200 gift.
Of course.
You just toss that to the side.
But that's what kids do best, though. The more you give them, the more, and don't get me wrong, I do spoil my kids, because I know I didn't come from a privileged background, and I still remember wanting
It's really hard
things.
not to, right?
It's hard not to, especially because
you
you know
love them.
you love them. You want them to have, it's very natural for parents to want to give their kids things that they never had. And my husband and I, we're the same. It's like so ironic the way we grew up, very similar, similar size family situations. And it is like, it's very hard for me to tell my daughter, no, you don't need this, when I know
Right.
she wants it. So I am like, I will substitute it. Like, look, you can't get this, doll because you have 50 million dolls you don't play with, but let's go grab a book, And then she's like, oh, okay. But she
Yeah.
enjoys that. She loves the books. She loves music. She's very musically inclined. TV is usually after school, limited time. They wake up with music. I don't know. People might be like, she's a crazy mom, but I just, I don't know.
I think everyone should respect everyone's way of,
Exactly. I don't ever look at a mom and say, oh, what she's doing is wrong. She
Right.
should be doing this or that, because you, as a mother, you're in no position to judge another mother, because you don't wake up the way she does. You don't walk in her
100%. Your
shoes.
kids aren't the same
They're
either,
not the
you know?
same. So you don't know. Maybe
Like-
that mom needs to give that iPad during lunch because her child will go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do your kids play together, or are
Yes.
some games like just for girls,
No. And I purposely let them play together. I have
Okay.
2 girls and a boy, but I let them, if my son picks up that doll and wants to play with the girls, I don't say, oh my God, don't do that. You're
Right.
a boy. I purposely don't. I let him play with it, because I don't want them to have this gender thing where, oh, pink is only for girls and blue is only for boys. I guess my mentality, I grew up in Austin, I'm very open-minded. I'm very I don't know.
Open-minded.
Yeah,
is the right word.
but I'm
Yeah.
very, I don't believe in this hardcore boy, girl. Like, come on. Like, it
I think-
shouldn't be that way. It should be, all kids playing together regardless of what it is. My girls will play with the train sets and the cars.
Right.
I grew up with boys. I grew up the
And that
skateboard.
doesn't
I had my
affect
own.
you, right?
It didn't
Like,
affect me
yeah.
in any way, and I was like a tomboy. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it's. Yeah.
I think it's in you, and those things will never affect
Exactly.
someone,
And I think boys naturally, like my son, when we go to the toy store, he'll go straight to the cars, to the train
Right.
track. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
comes
doesn't matter what
naturally,
you play
yeah.
with. Yeah.
So I know you're also on social media.
Yes.
With
the rest of the world.
yes. How did you get into that, and what is it exactly that you do online?
Well, first of all, I like to say I don't like to call myself an influencer or a blogger. Nothing wrong with those terms. I just personally rather just say that I'm a content creator.
Okay.
Because when I did start Instagram, I didn't start it for any other reason but as a hobby. I didn't even know what Instagram was when everybody was on there. Like, I was like, what is this? And I mean, we had Twitter then, which I didn't care for, because I was like, why does anybody care if I'm at a restaurant today, or now
Right.
now I'm shopping at the mall? Like, who cares? So I never really got into Twitter. But when I realized Instagram, like, you can post pictures, and I've always been into photography, nothing
Right.
professional, but I love pictures. I was like, oh, so this is like something I can be creative with. I could just post like whatever I want, but like, it's my photos. And it really started after I had my daughter, because I was nursing all day, all night. I didn't do much.
You had a lot of time.
I
on your
had,
hands.
well, I mean, I had time
to create content.
to create
or-
content, even though it was very like simple content. Like, it was a picture of her. It was pictures of products I was using at the time. Like, oh, I discovered this. And little by little, I started getting a following. Honestly, don't know what it was, but
I'm
maybe
looking at it
there's
right now. It's
yeah.
at nina.ali
Yes.
on Instagram, and you are at 181,000 followers,
Yeah.
and you have over 1,855 posts.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Is that?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like the snail that's
No.
growing so slow. People
That's
that used to be
incredible.
like would have half my numbers are like double my numbers now. I don't know. I must be doing something wrong, but
No,
I'm growing at a very slow pace.
No,
Maybe
that-
I'm lazy in my page. Maybe there's more I could be
I
doing
don't
to
think
market
you're lazy.
myself.
1,855 posts, And your content is very creative. I'm looking at it right
You
now.
think?
I
I've
think
slacked
it
off
looks-
the last year or so.
No, I think it looks really cool.
Thank you.
And I see a lot of pictures with your hubby.
Hubby. He doesn't have Instagram. Thank God he doesn't. He sees my page, obviously, but he's
Why? Thank God.
well, because he would be like, "Why are you posting my picture?" Why? He's just not a social
He's
media.
not into it.
When I tell him let's do photos, if he knows it's not going anywhere, he's all for it. But the minute I'm like, "Oh, this is cute. I want to post a picture of us," he's like, "No." He's very private. He's like opposite of me, basically.
Okay, so you're the open one, and would you call him more shy, or is
No,
it?
I don't think he's. No. I wouldn't say he's shy. He's definitely not shy. He's just more reserved. He's very,
He's just more private.
He's
about
more
his-
private. He appreciates social media. He appreciates, the way the world is today. It's not for him. Does that make sense? Like, I
there's
created
lot
a
of
page
people-
for him.
Really?
He doesn't use it.
Oh my God.
He got on there for a week. He's just like, what is this? Like, I don't. To him, it's
Doesn't he? He doesn't even like to look at people or
no. He, like I
doesn't
said, I
interest-
think he got on there for a week or two or so, and
just stop using.
yeah, just stopped you. He's never posted, never. He's just like, it's, he's like, I'd
That's
rather
not
pick
for
up.
me.
He's like,
Yeah.
if I need to know what someone's doing, I'll pick up the phone and call,
call
them.
them.
He's one of those guys.
I
But
respect
he's very
that.
business oriented, very like, he's so busy with what he does. Like,
Yeah.
he is like nonstop that I don't think he even has the time to
The time to yeah.
to enjoy social media.
What is your message? What are you trying to convey to your followers and audience? Like what is?
That's a good
'Cause
question.
Have you thought of that yet?
I haven't. Honestly, I
feel like it's a very positive message.
Oh, good.
and-
That's good to know.
Yeah,
That's good to know.
because you're always smiling and you have that positive energy. Like I want to follow you.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
the
good.
energy I
Are
get.
you following me?
I don't yet, but today, right now, I am actually going to follow you.
Sorry, I just had to put you on the spot because you said that.
No, that's why I mean, like, I want to follow you, and I'm going to 100%.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Is that
Honestly, I want people. When I initially started my page, again, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was just posting things. Then when I realized the messages, it was all about the messages and the communication with my followers, because I'm
Right.
very, I engage with them a lot. And the messages I would get, I don't know, like maybe women thought it was very easy to speak with me, to talk to me, to share things with me. I just want my page to, when I created my page and really got into Instagram, I just wanted it to be a page that, if you were to open up a magazine, you just kind of go through it. There might be some posts or pictures you like, some you don't.
Right.
And I wanted my page to just kind of look like a magazine. Is there something interesting that you see? Is there something you want to ask me about? Is there
Nice.
something you want me to talk about more? But I hope that it's positive. I hope it puts a smile on people's face. I do post a lot of my family, my kids in particular, not as much,
Yeah,
but I
you
do.
make having 3 kids look easy.
Well, it's not easy. It's not easy, but at the same time, it's the most beautiful thing in the world. You know what I mean? So when I do capture those moments, I want to share it,
Right.
like, because it's there, it's genuine.
amazing.
Like, the kids you can be so stressed out, and the minute they laugh and smile at you, you're like,
Forget
okay, I
everything.
forgive you,
Yeah.
But I
That's
just don't want anyone to ever come on my page and think that I'm not relatable, because some people will say things like that sometimes, like, oh, your life seems this. I'm like, no, my life is probably just like your life
Yeah.
in so many ways. But I mean, I'm not, you choose to show what you want to show. And even though sometimes I'll go on my stories and I'm like, oh God, I'm so tired today and this and that, I'm not going to post a picture with me looking
Yeah.
tired or passed out in bed. Like,
Yeah.
nobody wants to see that,
I
know?
mean, yeah. That's
Insta story,
Instagram.
yeah. Insta story is one thing. You could be more like, oh my God, today I
Vocal.
had, but I
Yeah.
mean, picture wise, I don't mind sharing things, but at the same time, I want to open up my page
Right.
and be happy about it, or be like, okay, this is interesting. What does she have? Am I relatable? I might be to some people, I might not be, but not
Right.
everybody's relatable to everybody. So
Again, I'm gonna say you make having 3 kids look easy on your Instagram just because everyone always looks picture ready and is full of smiles. How do you get that picture?
You think that
how
they're
long
full
does
of
one
smiles?
picture? How long does one picture take you?
No,
'Cause-
to be honest, there are times where I'm like, guys, can you please just sit down? Mommy just wants a quick picture. But at this age, it's very difficult to have them do
Yeah.
it. So if you're not in that moment to capture it,
it's gone.
it's gone. Because the more
So
you
they
try to
are-
tell them to sit or to pose or do, the more they're not. And this is why I don't do a lot of work related things with them, because they
It's
don't
tough.
it's tough and they're kids, and
Yeah.
I don't want to force them and push them. No, you have to sit, you have to do.
It's just
You
not.
can't.
Is it like? Do you feel like it's if it's not in the moment, you just
You can't. If it's not in the moment, it's not. Because if you force them, you push them, then they start to hate it or they start to resent
Right.
it. Even naturally, when I'm with them, I take pictures all the time, even at home.
okay?
But I'm a mom. I'm like a crazy mom. Like, I document if they sneeze, it's been documented. You know what I mean? Like, that's a
awesome.
joke, but I do. I take everything. Like, so they're used to me taking photos because they know, oh, mommy wants to do this. Or if they're hugging me, I'm like grabbing the phone so I can be like, oh, give me a, because I send a lot of photos back home. My parents and my husband's parents are always like, they don't live here. So I'm naturally sending them photos, videos
Right.
all the time. So it's something that's there. Sometimes I catch really cute moments. I do post them like videos. I posted a video of my son for Easter weekend. We were at El Barari and he's just eating and dancing. And I thought it was the cutest thing. And I just it was a long video, you know what I mean?
Right.
But then I cut it. I was like, let me post this online. But, you just have to be in that moment with them. But if you force them, it doesn't work.
It's different, right?
It's different.
It's even gonna look staged. At
It's
some
gonna
point,
look
'cause the
staged.
kids can't fake it. They're gonna be like,
Exactly.
know,
And yeah, sometimes
so
we'll
fake.
sit and I'm like, oh, guys, can you just smile for mommy? We're going to do 2 pictures. I promise nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. And if it does, I'm lucky. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
how do you plan your days? Do you try getting everything in before they come from school?
Of course.
Or do you
And this
run
is
your
why,
errands?
and this is why I wake up so early, because I've got to get up. I've got to get everything ready before they're ready. I've got to get myself going. If I
Right.
don't have my cup of coffee in the morning, I'm not a pleasant person to be
You-
around. So I do what I can. And when they go to school, I have that gap where everything has to be finished before I go pick them up.
Which is at what time?
It's usually at 3. Thursdays, it's at 2.
Okay.
Thursdays, they get out earlier.
So
Everything has to happen in that
during
time.
that time.
Or after 7 when I put them to bed. So I pass up like lots of things, events, certain projects I could be doing. Because I'm like, I can't. If it can't be
Yeah.
done in the morning or it can't be done after 7,
I just can't do it.
I don't even travel because of them.
Wow. And you can't travel with them? Like, how do you feel like, is it more challenging traveling
No,
with
I mean,
the
I could
kids?
travel if I'm going on holiday, but for work related things, what am I going to
Right.
do? Drag 3 kids with me while they sit in a hotel room and I work,
So talking about work, what do you exactly do like outside social media? What else is there something else that you run? 'Cause I've
yeah.
seen some other stuff online. The Lipstick Mommy website, is that something?
Yeah,
coming up?
it's no, I've had that. Lipstick Mommy I've had now. It's just still under construction. I've put things up and then I've taken them down. I've gone back and forth. But the problem is the time to sit and get it up again, like
Yeah.
I struggle just to keep up with Instagram now. I really do, because my time is so limited. And now that my kids, even though I've got that morning time, but I'm busy running and, I help my husband on the side as well. So it's like,
Okay.
I swear there's not enough time in the day that I can't even think about my website right now, because if I do have that time, I'd rather be in the gym, which I can't even get to the gym.
Right.
So I'm just, I think to myself, I need to learn more time management, but I don't even think it's that. I just think because I have so much on my plate every day
Right.
that it's difficult. I don't watch TV.
I was just gonna ask you, like, do you ever have free time? And if you do, like, what do you want to do? Like,
Honestly,
what would you do with that free time?
My free time, the only thing I do in my free time is if I can like escape to the salon, and I literally go and get my nails, like the polish change. I don't even have time. I get a manicure once every like month and a half, 2 months. People think, oh, she's always in the salon. I'm like, I'm in there quickly, like quickly change my
Yeah.
polish. There's nothing relaxing about it.
You're not like, let me get that.
Yeah, and give me a
shoulder
massage. No, and I've been wanting a
massage.
massage for like 2 years now. Literally, like I haven't
Right.
had a massage in years. You know, I'll try to throw in a facial. You know, I had one facial this year so far. So, you know, the thing is, it's I started this thing in January where I was like, I'm gonna schedule me time every day. It's got to be something. But
I'm
you know,
gonna be honest with you.
tell
Like when
me.
I look at you, I think you spend a lot of time getting facials done. You look, you know, like you look like someone who would be in the salon all the time, just because
No.
you look so, you know, great. And
Thank you. I'm gonna
and you
take
look
that
like,
as a compliment.
yeah,
but no.
100%. And you look fit. So I would assume you're at the gym.
No.
Like, so you're
That's
naturally.
my goal. My goal
You're
is
naturally gifted.
to be a
You're
no. I'm
blessed.
not. No. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say I'm blessed. No, thank you. I honestly, that means a lot. You actually made me smile there. No, I just it's different. I know when I have my time because I used to have that time. Things change. Priorities change, and not that I am not a priority, because I've been now more than ever preaching to myself and my followers that we've got to take that time for ourselves. We schedule an appointment for everything else in our day. Why are
Right.
we not scheduling that appointment for ourselves? I started dancing.
Okay.
So that to me is like my really fun thing that I do for myself
And
during
what
the
kind
week.
of dancing?
Well, I do. I started with the tango because I've always wanted to do the tango. I mean, I grew up in
Tango.
Texas. Everybody's into the
Yeah.
salsa. It's like salsa, hip hop, street dance.
Tango is good though, because there's a lot of like tango groups and places you
Yeah.
can go and do the dance with. Do you take like
Private dance
Private.
classes. Yeah, I do. And I've been doing tango. I've been doing the waltz as well.
okay?
So now I'm going back into tango, and I'm
Did
really
you convince your husband to go?
he, as he says,
He hates
he was
it.
born with 2 left feet. Actually, it's funny because they had like a little event last
That's
week that I
funny.
took him. It was the first time he's been to the studio where I dance, and I've been dancing for a few months.
Oh,
And he just
wow.
sat there, and everybody was trying to get out. I mean, the music was playing, the vibe was there, and I'm like, just stand up. And he's like, no. Like,
He
no.
wouldn't. He wouldn't.
He's like, do your thing. I'm not getting up. Like, even in our wedding, he was just standing there clapping like this. And you know, Lebanese people, they're
Yeah,
like
they're
on the
going
table
crazy.
practically. I didn't even sit down. I was dancing the whole time.
They're jumping
But
over the cake and stuff, and he's just
bless
like,
his heart. He's like, it's just not in my DNA. And I'm like,
oh, well.
but it's
what do you
okay.
do in that case? Do you get a dance partner or?
I do. Well, I mean, I dance with an instructor. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have a dance partner.
All right. And how did you come up with the name Lipstick Mommy? Like,
You know, Lipstick Mommy came, and I still remember the night.
because that's on your Instagram too, right? Like you have.
It was
on-
originally. Well,
Okay.
that's what my name was. I still remember I was nursing my daughter, and I was trying to get on Instagram because everybody was like, you've got to get on Instagram. I'm like, okay. So Nina Ali was taken. Nina Ali 1, Nina Ali 2. Like Nina Ali in every form was taken.
Was taken.
So I'm like, what am I going to call myself? Then I had Nina Texas. Like I just put Nina Texas because, again, I didn't know what Instagram was
Right.
or where it was heading. And then I started thinking, okay, Nina Texas just doesn't sound right. But I just started that way because I needed something to get on, something
yeah.
to register.
Something to
Something.
get started.
So then I was thinking one night, I was nursing. I was like, what can I call myself? I'm like, what am I? I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm into beauty. I've always been into beauty products. You know, I'm like, and I'm a mom. What do I call myself? And just, I don't know where it came from, but Lipstick Mommy just popped up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning in my head.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, let me see, is that available? And it happened to be available, and I just took it. And it's been with me through so many years. And I just changed it last year.
And why did you change
You
it?
know, it was one of the toughest decisions because I kind of became Lipstick Mommy. Like it was a brand, like it's literally branded. The name is branded now. I just changed it because I felt like, you know, I was growing out of it, and I felt like I just wanted my name, you know? And it was funny because I was talking to a PR, and I was having lunch with her, and she said something to me. And I had, at that time, I was trying to get Nina Ali, like somehow. I was even asking ITV, I'm like, guys, you got to help me here, please. I'm trying to get my name.
Help.
You know, she said something to me. She said, you know, your name Lipstick Mommy. And she was the first person that said this to me, because everybody always told me, oh, it's so creative, it's so catchy, we love it. But she was the only one that told me, she's like, you know, if a brand were to want to work with you, it's not gonna be brand X and Lipstick Mommy. Like, she said, that would turn a brand off. I was like, really? Like, I didn't think about that. Then it made me think, is she right? I mean, she is in PR, she knows. Right. But at the same time, I was like,
just a name is a name, right? Like,
maybe brands prefer to just work with people based on their name. And I mean, I am Nina Ali, like, it's always been Nina Ali, but I couldn't get Nina Ali.
It's a nickname.
It was a lipstick. Yeah, it was Lipstick Mommy. Again, it just was with me for years.
So would people call you Lipstick Mommy?
Yes,
like,
it was so funny. Everywhere we would go, Lipstick Mommy. I was like, oh, that I felt very awkward when people would do that, because it was kind of weird. I'm like, oh, my name is Nina.
Would they shorten it? Because like for me, you know, it's S1 and people shorten it to S, and I'm like, it's only two.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's called being lazy.
Would they go lipstick? Just call you Lipstick?
No, just they're like, you're the Lipstick Mommy, right? I'm like, yeah, my name is Nina Ali. It's literally written there, I promise, if you look. But it's still lipstick. So now it's just reversed. So like, it's at Nina Ali, but then it's Lipstick Mommy. Okay. And then I reserved that name, obviously, because it's funny, when I switched my name and I announced it, I had so many people messaging me like, I'm trying to get the Lipstick Mommy. Oh, do you have it? I was like, why would I give up my name? Yeah. So I have it, but it's under a private account for like just family and stuff. But yeah.
Okay.
Because it's my name. I don't want to give it up.
Plus, you never know. You might switch back.
You never know. I mean, it's branded. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
That's awesome. I know your husband is really busy, and like you were saying, so he's a businessman.
Yes, he's a businessman, entrepreneur.
And how does he have time? Does he have out with the kids?
The weekends, always.
Weekends.
Yeah. So he always gets home before they go to sleep, so he can put them to bed. That's his thing. He always takes them to school in the morning, unless he's traveling. But he loves to take them to school. That's his time to catch up with them in the morning.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he loves to take them to school in the morning, and I pick them up unless he's traveling again. But Fridays are usually weekends are always, we both know that no work happens on the weekend unless, like, he deals a lot with, like, government, prime ministers in the world. Like, he deals with, it depends on who's in town, what's going on.
So depending if he has a certain
thing he has to do, but it's usually in the evening. Like, I have to take so-and-so out to dinner, but at least we have our daytime for the kids. So we always know that. And now on Friday, he likes to take the kids out to eat, lunch. They'll go do lunch and have their weekly, I let him have ice cream once a week. So he likes to do that. Most of the time, 80% of the time I'm with them. But if I need to do something or finish up stuff, he takes all three of them on his own.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then Saturdays we're all together. But usually Friday, Saturday we're all together unless I need to do something. So I stay back.
Because we have met at a couple of events and we hung out. And the last event I think I saw you at, he was there too, right? He was right.
Which event was that?
It was some perfume launch.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I think that it was awesome seeing him because he was such a cool, fun guy.
He's so laid back. Yeah, he's very laid back. He's a man's man. You know what I mean? Like, he could sit there, light up a cigar and talk to you for hours all night.
But what I did notice was...
He had 3 phones.
He had 3 phones and he also didn't move. Like, a lot of us went up and, started.
Because he knew exactly. But see, this is what I mean. He's not into that.
He just sat back.
He's like, you do your thing. He always tells me, you do what you need to do. And he comes just for support. Like,
which is awesome.
There's things he'll come with me, like events like that. I'm like, look, and we live upstairs. I'm like, you just have to put on a suit and come downstairs. He's like, okay, fine. But I understand he's not going to run up and let me take pictures and be in, like, it's not his thing. Right. And I understand that. In a way, it's actually good because that is so me, like pictures everywhere and posing. Like imagine if both of us are fighting for camera time.
No, that's true. There's not enough room.
We
and
balance
time
each other.
for-
Yeah, imagine.
You're very public, right? About your love and
Yes
devotion.
and no. Yes and public is with my
I mean,
husband
on your
or
no,
in-
like not PDA kind of like.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're very vocal about it. Like when I go on your Instagram, you know, I see you expressing your love for him
yes.
and how much he means to you.
Yes.
Is that something you feel like it's good to do? Like, do you want?
You know, I don't do it like you won't see me talk about him every day. Like you hardly even see him in my stories. He's literally next to me. Like sometimes I had one girl message me. She's like, "You're always out and about without your husband." I'm like, my husband's sitting right next to me.
Yeah, he's always
I'm like,
here.
he's literally next
He's
to. Who
just
do you
not
think
on
took
the-
that picture when I was standing outside? It's him.
Right,
I don't have
yeah.
a photographer. But he just doesn't care to be in it, and I have to respect that.
Right.
So you don't even see him in most of my stories. It's once in a blue moon. I'll post photos of us once in a while. They're not like in every photo.
Because I love the
but
captions. Like honestly, I personally.
But I make
think
them
it's
short
awesome.
though. But I make them short and sweet because, you know, let me tell you something. My husband, and by the time I met my husband, I had a very long, crazy life. One day, I keep saying I'm going to write a book one day.
Yeah.
I've been through so much in my life, like so much in my life. That would need another 5 podcasts. But like when I met my husband, my whole world changed. Like everything changed. And not that my world was upside down, but everything changed for the better. You know what I mean? Like he put a smile on my face. Like till this day, you know, I always thought you get married, people say things change, yada yada. And I'm like, he's like my best friend. You know what I
You
mean?
guys brought the best out of each other, right?
We did. And that's why I think when you meet someone, because people always tell me, how do you know he was the one? How did you know? I'm like, you know how I knew? Because I can't describe it. I can't put it into words. It's
It
not like
just
I'm
happened.
like, oh, there was this, you know, he did this for me, or because of the chemistry, or because of this. No, I couldn't describe it because it was just that feeling where, you know, when you have like a puzzle, pieces of puzzle everywhere,
Yeah.
everything just seemed to fit automatically.
How did
and it
you
just made
guys
sense.
meet?
Oh, that's a long story. We met in the U.S.
In the US?
Yeah, through my
Okay.
cousins. Then,
Okay.
yeah.
And then
Then
you
he
guys?
brought me here.
Oh, he lived
Imagine.
here.
He lived here. He's born and raised in London. He's British from Indian background, but he was born
Okay.
and raised in London. He moved here for work to Dubai. That was supposed to be temporarily, and then he kind of left that job and started doing his own thing. So this is where he was based, and he moved me here. I never thought in a
That's
million
amazing.
years
That
that
you would come-
someone would like. I thought if I ever left Austin, it would be maybe New York, California.
Yeah, you're like,
but never to
to
the
a
other
neighbor
side
state.
of the world.
like that's
Yeah.
extremes, you know. like-
majorly. Like I would have never thought this is where I would be today.
and
ever.
that explains the whole culture shock and everything you were talking
Yeah,
about,
yeah.
right?
But I
Like-
love Dubai. Like Dubai is home to me now. Like it's opened up so many opportunities, and like, I mean, it's Dubai. It's amazing.
Dubai has a charm like
It
no other
does.
place,
It
right?
really does. And people, whether they say positive or negative negative things, I'm like, oh, you just don't know unless you live here.
100%.
You will never understand that vibe
And I
you
feel
get
like
here.
sometimes people would just hate on Dubai just because they're
Jealous.
and
They're jealous. I'm like, I
okay,
love my
but-
Dubai. Don't get me wrong. I'm a hardcore Southern Texas girl.
Yeah.
But, like, I love
still,
Dubai, you know?
is for me, I've toured the world, you know.
Yes.
I'm a singer, so I toured the world. I traveled the world. I've seen every country, and I've never seen another place like Dubai. You know, I just can't compare.
It's alive. You feel it.
It's so different. Like,
It's alive.
I mean, there's pros and cons to everything.
Of course.
but
of course.
There's no place like Dubai, and
There's
I love
not.
it.
And especially now, you know, for me with the family and kids, it's just so much safer, cleaner. People cater to you. Like I walk in with my kids and everyone's like, hi, madam, how are they? What can we get to? You know,
Yes.
a lot of places, and I love the US. I'm from the US, but like lots of times, you know, I go to the restaurants there, nobody cares. Or like if your kids are like acting crazy, they're looking at you like you're crazy, you know? And I'm like, oh.
And here's the thing, and I think this is something you could, you know, agree with me or disagree. You tell me. I feel like women in the UAE get treated better than anywhere else in the world. Like in terms of benefits, you know, like we have lines dedicated for ladies, sections.
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, like there's so much more benefits
Yeah, well,
than anywhere else. Like everywhere else is just, you know, a queue, for example.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
I'm talking
it's
in
true.
that sense, not in
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I don't
that
think I've ever
context.
taken advantage of those kinds of things. Like, I know, for instance, in my gym, you know, like the gym that I go to once a blue moon, you know, it's like one whole floor is dedicated for women only. The other floor is for women and men, you know. So you do
Okay.
have that. Women do, if they care to be, you know, I'm from the US. So to me, everything
for
is
you.
unisex. Like, you
Yeah,
know, like
you don't
everything's a
mind.
mix.
Yeah.
I don't mind, but it is so good for those that do, you know, prefer more privacy or prefer to not
But
be.
have you ever taken advantage of the queues? Like,
Never.
you know, never.
Never.
So you never went, and I would have been the first one. I was like,
But like what queues? Where? Like the
like, you
grocery
know-
stores don't have queues. I wish they I
No.
would have taken advantage because I live in the grocery store.
no, like, you know, I mean, you probably don't do that, but like register the car when you go register your
oh,
car.
I don't do any of that though.
Yeah, see?
See, I have
So, we
Yeah,
gotta
I have
deal with
somebody to
them-
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's different.
Spoiled.
No, I'm not spoiled.
I'm joking.
Trust me, in the US, I do a lot more. I
can
am
imagine.
spoiled. Dubai, I have to say.
So would you go to the DMV in the US?
Of
like,
course.
and you would do
I
all
do
that yourself?
everything. I drive in
You
the
wouldn't
US.
send one of
I
your
don't drive
brothers?
here. No,
Are
I
you
do
sure?
everything. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you realize the way I grew up. I was, again,
No.
imagine a bunch of boys around me. Like,
I can imagine.
yeah.
What is your favorite thing to do in Dubai?
You know what I love about Dubai? And I know this is going to sound so like cheesy, like who doesn't everybody love to eat?
We like
I love to explore new restaurants in Dubai because I
Yeah.
feel like there's always something new.
And
Like,
amazing, right? Like
yeah.
food here is amazing.
Yeah,
If
like
you-
it just, you don't get bored. Like if I'm in the mood for Italian, I have 100 options, and it's not the same options over and over again. And you know, when we work in the media, like
Yeah,
what
we
we
get
do,
invited all
we
the
get invited to, like, even if I don't go to the places, because I don't really do, like, you know, oh come, we're doing reviews. I don't really do that. But
Yeah.
but now I'm like, oh, that's a new restaurant I have to check out next time. You know, like I love knowing that I can go to the beach, you know, sit by the water, have a nice dinner, you know, listen to live music or listen to music or, you know, like the thing that I love about Dubai is I don't get bored. Like there's something to do every day of the week. In the US, it was more of a weekend thing, you know, okay, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Here it's like every night something is happening, going on. So you just don't get bored.
Do you monetize your Instagram? Do you do brand
course.
deals? Yes.
Of course.
And
I wouldn't be putting my focus on it if I did. I mean, I never started it for that reason. It turned into that. And I still don't focus on that as the main reason. It isn't about just, okay, you know, am I going to get paid? I'm one
I mean,
of
there's
those.
nothing wrong with that. I
No,
mean,
there's
that's
nothing.
part-
It's a job. At the
it's
end
a
of the
jo-
day,
yeah.
it's become my job. So
But I just
you
mean,
know.
like, I've met people that are big on Instagram and have never done a post, you know, like a paid post. And I just wanted to ask, and is there a limit to like what products, or do you draw the line? Like,
I draw all the time. I mean,
Yeah?
you can ask ITP. They'll tell you, like,
Okay.
if it's a product
Are
I
you
don't
picky?
believe in, I'm very picky.
Okay.
Because look, I don't have millions of followers. I have my followers. My followers have literally been with me for years since I started. And I am not, for the sake of a paycheck, going to sit here and
you
make
don't
them
need that, right? Like, it's more something you do for fun. than-
Exactly. So, and plus, like, people, no matter, even though I think I'm just a small person on Instagram, people are influenced by everything you do. I'm influenced by other people. People are influenced by me.
Yeah, I
you know,
mean,
for little things.
180,000 people, that's still a lot of people, you know what I mean?
So, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and tell you, oh, go buy this product just because I got a paycheck last week for it, you know, or
Yeah.
I'm getting a paycheck next week for it, when I personally wouldn't use it or I don't believe in it, especially kid products. I've been approached by so many diaper brands, this brand, vitamins, this, and I'm like, No.
this is not for me.
No,
Yeah,
I
like,
look at the
don't like-
ingredients because I'm very hardcore with what my kids
Okay.
consume or what I use on them products. I'm very like
You're pro-organic.
very
and-
for my kids, you know, not everything has to be organic, but with the amount of chemicals and things that are like I'm very awake to society.
Okay, this makes me think you're a vegan.
I am not, but I am
Yeah.
I'm on that path. I'm vegetarian.
Okay, you're vegetarian.
I've been a vegetarian. I'm very big into animal rights. I am
Okay.
not because animals, but I feel like the world we live in today is not what it used to be. You know, even a decade ago, like even the food we eat, like I don't want to get into this because I know this is a very touchy subject with people because I'm like, I choose not to eat meat. You choose to eat meat. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You know, but I just don't feel like meat is done and processed the way it used to be. You know, you were looking at hormonal injections. We're looking at the way, you know, lifestyle. Oh God, this is a whole new, I get passionate about this. So I'll just,
I can imagine. I mean, it's a big topic.
It's a
but
big topic.
It's something that both ways have proven. Again, you know, there's pros to
There's
that.
pros
There's
too,
cons
yeah,
to
exactly.
that. I agree that
My
the
family
ways
eats
that,
meat.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not against, but that's just a personal choice for me.
Right.
But if I am going to promote something, you know, it's funny you're talking about this. I had a fur company reach out to me just a week ago.
Okay.
You know, we're going to send you this and that. And as beautiful as that looked, I was like, there is no way you couldn't pay me to go on my social media and promote that.
Yeah.
You couldn't. It's wrong.
So you were like, fur? No. Certain baby products? No.
Yeah, certain baby, well, for sure.
Do you think that?
Look, I've been guilty. I've bought fur in the past.
Right.
And then that's when I was young and naive. And I didn't really look into what goes on to making the fur or making a lot of things. So I no longer buy it. I have some of that stuff because I've just had it for ages. But will I buy it again? I stopped buying that stuff years ago. But again, if I see a fur jacket, I don't say anything or think about it like, oh my God, she's wearing. I'm not one of those.
Okay.
I am so not one of those. Eat what you want, wear what you want, do what you want. It's my personal choice.
It's at the end of the day, I always think of it in one way. I think that it's our world, it's our earth. So, I mean, if you damage it or if you hurt it, you're still hurting our world, you know?
You are.
So
it's the next generation that suffers. My kids.
Yeah.
And everybody's kids.
I mean, I could, you know,
Are you vegetarian?
I'm
Vegan?
not. I'm not. No, I'm not. I tried it for a bit, but it was really tough.
Yeah, it's personal.
It's something that, like, for me, I also grew up in a household where it was like a meal is not a meal without meat.
Hello,
and,
I'm Lebanese with brothers and a father that my dad makes steak. They barbecue every weekend religiously.
But I try
I
it,
know.
and I do it sometimes just to detox because I feel like it helps me so much. Like I feel.
So what does that say to you?
Like I do.
So you know.
Yes,
yeah.
I know, because a lot of the food is processed in certain ways. Yeah. I agree. I mean, I feel it just by eating certain meals.
Don't you just
bloat
feel
up.
heavy and you can't even walk?
You're like, damn, I don't
But yeah,
know.
I never preach to people. I never say like, don't do this. I never, to me at the end of the day, I am no one to tell somebody else what to eat, what to wear, what not to wear, what to do, because I've been guilty of doing things in the past. And I'm still not, you know, I'm very big on the environment, recycling, you know, I'm very big on that stuff, especially coming from Austin. I mean, Austin, Texas is big. Like you can't go to the grocery store and expect bags. You have to bring your own bags or you're going to pay for it. Here, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I can't impose my views on people, but I will not promote things that I know are harmful, or things that I wouldn't personally use, or because at the end of the day, it takes one product for you to sit there and promote for your followers to know, and then that's it. You lose that trust.
I think a lot has changed in the way that food is being processed and the way that things have become commercialized.
Of course.
You know, and fast, and you know, there's consumption rates
the
are
demand
huge.
is huge.
Yeah.
So imagine with the demand being so high, how much they have to produce. And in order to produce and keep up with the demand, You have to do something to grow those chickens and the beef and
there's so many documentaries out there.
Oh, there's
like,
so many.
You guys,
there's
if you
so
wanna,
many, exactly.
just go check it out.
Like I said, I could talk hours on this topic, but we're not going to go there today.
Yeah, definitely not. Actually, you know what I want to do with you?
Yeah.
Is play a fun game.
Okay.
You have 5 seconds to answer these questions.
God. Those are the questions I'm like,
And then I need you to say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Are you ready?
As ready as I can be.
All right. Name 3 things in your handbag.
Lipstick, mirror, my phone.
Okay. Keeping in mind that you're a mom,
Yeah.
if you could only say one word for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I love you.
Oh, that's a cute one. That's so mommy, right? Like,
Because I say it all day to them.
Okay.
Like I literally say I love you to them all day, as much as they like it. They're probably immune to it. They don't realize I'm saying it.
Biggest craving when you were pregnant?
Anything lemony, like lemon and salt.
Sour.
Sour. I'm all about the sour and the salt.
Are you still like that? Or
I love sour. Yeah, I love lemons.
Do your kids like it?
They do like sour stuff.
Yeah.
They do.
Do you believe that what you eat during pregnancy?
I think I don't know. I mean, I know growing, you know how it is like in the Lebanese tradition as well. They're like, oh, everything you eat, or don't crave it. If you crave it and you itch, then that's not good for the baby. You crave it, you eat whatever. I mean, I don't know. My kids definitely love to eat what I do. They definitely do. Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay. Favorite dessert?
Dessert would have to be ice cream.
Ice cream. What kind of ice cream?
I take that. Well, I can't take it back. But anything dark chocolate, I love. Dark chocolate, even dark chocolate ice cream. I don't like milk chocolate. I don't like white chocolate. Give me dark chocolate. I like it, but I love ice cream.
Wow.
Like chocolate, vanilla.
Do you like yogurt?
I do like yogurt.
Like pinkberry and stuff like that?
I do, but I find it a bit sweet. I find some yogurt is good, but I find some yogurt a lot sweeter than normal ice cream.
Yeah, I think they do.
I think they try to make it look healthy, but then they're adding something to it.
I mean, they don't. They say it's 0 calories, but they never talk about.
But they don't talk about what sweeteners they're using in there, do they?
Yoga pants or jeans?
Yoga pants.
Okay. Favorite baby product?
Like in terms of a brand or like a
product? Just a product. Favorite baby product? Like what?
That's so like broad.
Choose 1, 5, 4. 2.
I don't know. A blanket? I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that works. That works.
Because I feel like all my life I've cut. There's a blanket in the stroller, a blanket on the couch, a blanket here, a blanket there.
I would have thought you would say like teddy bear or something. Cause like,
well, that too.
Like, right?
But that's what I'm saying. It's so broad like that. There's so many depending on the moment.
I know. It's good you didn't say diapers or something.
Oh God, I'm so glad I'm done with that phase.
It's a crazy one, right?
It was never
the whole
ending.
Diapers thing for you, especially for you.
Never
How many
ending.
diapers did your household consume?
Yeah, my God bless them.
Being a mom can get overwhelming. What was your favorite thing to do when you had a couple of minutes to yourself?
Music.
Who's your favorite artist?
Oh, you can't ask me that.
Big debate.
There's so many. Nothing, people like to sit in silence. I like to sit in music.
What genre are we talking? Are you
I like all of them,
Texas
I don't mind country music. I love country music. But I'm more into like 80s, 90s, R&B, love pop. I love classical, but music takes me to another level. Like my morning starts with music. I don't sit in silence. I sit in music,
Do you get ready in music?
Everything. Shower in music, everything.
Do you have nice speakers around the house?
We have. The apartment has like speakers everywhere.
Oh, nice.
Everywhere. In the shower, in the kitchen, in the living room. Every room has speakers. It's like a surround system, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my kind of thing,
Well, you said you're a singer, so yeah.
For me,
but I think I was a singer. I always said in my previous life, I was either an actress or singer because I'm into all of that. I grew up around that, so I'm just,
Well, you never know. You might turn into an actress, maybe.
Well, I did that already, but that
yeah?
Yeah.
Oh Oh my God.
Yeah. But I didn't. I did a few things, and then I realized the
It wasn't
industry
for me.
when I was in California that I just.
Hollywood.
Yeah, when you're in Hollywood and when you're around it, you
God
either
bless
go
Hollywood.
to Hollywood or you realize you
Yeah.
gotta just let it go.
Hollywood's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I have my own stories.
No, I've got plenty of stories. We'll have
leave
to
that,
sit down.
Yeah, we'll do
we'll
that
have
on
to sit
another.
down over coffee for that
Yes.
one.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
I would have to say dinner, even though, because I never have time for breakfast. Like, I'm rushing. Lunch is like, if I'm lucky here and there, I try to grab, like, between breakfast and lunch, I never know when. It's usually one of them.
Yeah, isn't breakfast the most important?
It
meal,
is.
though, right?
It is the most important. But for me, like, my coffee is the most important. If I've got that, I've got
You're
the
good.
morning. I'm good. I'm good.
Are you a Starbucks girl or no?
I don't mind Starbucks, but, you know, I prefer like real coffee, like
Okay.
Ili,
Italiano.
Italiano. I used to, yeah.
Most embarrassing moment.
When?
It could be a mom moment. It could be a...
Most embarrassing moment. I feel like my whole life I've been embarrassed. Like, I'm such a goofy person. I've fallen in front of people.
Are you clumsy?
I'm not clumsy. Well, I am clumsy, but I'm just, because I'm so carefree. Like, in life growing up, I was just like, whatever. You know, I wasn't like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of person. So I've fallen before. I've dropped things on people before. God, the most embarrassing. I feel like my whole life, I'm always telling people, oh my God, did you see what happened? I'm trying to think. You know, I was going to an event. It was a year ago, I think. And we were getting on a boat. And I'm like, of course, it didn't happen. It didn't happen if I didn't like story it, right? So like, I'm recording and I'm like talking about what was going on. And I literally fell. And as I'm falling, the phone is in my hand and you see everything happening.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was, I still have the video.
Uh,
But that was in front of everybody.
You know what I noticed? Actually, I told you a couple of times at events. I noticed you were recording, but you forgot to hit the record button.
I think
I've told you about that like several times. I caught you on that. I was like, wait, Nina, you're not recording. And you're like, oh yeah, thank you.
You know why? Because let me tell you, it's funny because when you're recording on Insta stories, you have to keep it pressed. So to me, when I'm using the regular, because sometimes I'll do different videos and then I don't want to post everything on stories.
Right.
So I'll keep my fingers pressed, not realizing that you just press it once. And,
Yeah.
That's true. I forgot about that.
What is your biggest regret?
This is going to sound crazy, but I don't have any regrets.
That's amazing.
Because let me tell you, I feel like at the moment I might have them, but I always understand why something happened the way it did.
Right.
And I realized that, you know, it was meant to be.
You get your answer, right?
I get my answer. So, I mean, maybe there's things in life I would have done differently, but I feel like, would I be where I am today? No.
No.
Would I have what I have today? No.
Is there any last advice you want to give people?
Honestly, just be happy. I know that sounds so like, oh God, like she's one of those, but like
Life is too short.
Life is short. I'm a hippie deep down inside. I mean, not because I'm just from Austin, Texas, but I'm just such a hippie deep down inside that I just feel like, you know, I believe in like, I don't know. I just feel like if you send certain energy out there, you get that energy. There's so much going on in this world. Like so much like tragedies going on in this life. And, you know, here we are complaining, and I'm guilty of it, complaining about things that are just so irrelevant to what's really happening that, you know, sometimes I'm just like, if the way I see things, and I always tell people, if there's a solution to whatever it is that you're going through or that's negative for you, if there's a solution, be happy about it. Right. Because there's a lot of people that are going through things that there is no solution.
Count your blessings.
Count your blessings twice, 3 times, 4 times. Just count them.
Nina Ali,
S1.
thank you so much for being on the show. I hope you enjoyed your Uncut moments, and we had an awesome time. It was a pleasure
thank you
having
for having
you.
me. Thank you.
And I hope you come back.
I'll be back.
Let us know when there's anything new, anything you want to share.
There's always something new.
Yeah,
Every
you're
day's
always
a new
welcome.
beginning. There's always something new.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
You're an
you for having
amazing
me.
soul,
Thank
inside and
you.
out.
Thank you.
And
It takes one to know one.
yeah, thank you. And stay tuned, guys. Follow her on Instagram and all her social media platforms. We'll have it on our YouTube description box. If you're only listening to the audio, please go check out the YouTube and check out the visuals, because you should really check it out.
Check it out.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you
and
so much.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.